new brakes, old brakes. You can see the difference in the two. So, what we're going to do today is we're going to put brakes on this Massey Ferguson. Now, it's not rocket science. And these brakes are not hydraulic. They are basically mechanical brakes. You push the pedals, and the pedals turn the rods. Inside of the brake housing itself. When the rod moves, these basically mechanical push the brakes one way or the other, and it will go this way. Brakes sitting in here, and on here you'll see these start actuating. So there's a series of springs and holders and clamps and all this good stuff that goes in here. This side is ready to go. I've already primered, I've already cleaned and primered and painted everything in here. It is ready to be put back together. Other side, it still needs to be cleaned, primered and painted. So you can see what it looks like when I take it apart. This is just full of crap. So what we're going to focus on today is putting the clean, shiny, new looking, pretty looking stuff. We're going to put that back together. And then we'll work on the other one. So what I'm going to do right now is I'm going to put these pads back on. There's little keepers on the inside. And I got everything in my Cool Whip bowl over here, where I took the parts wash and clean everything up real good. So the first thing you'll notice is you've got an adjuster. That's this dude right here, and it sits on this side because you can tell because there's a actual hole on the back side to where you can reach on the inside of it with a screwdriver, and you can flip this adjuster and you can adjust the brakes out. So that's working. Anyway, what I've got to do is get all the springs and all the keepers out for this one side. Should be 4 keepers. Alright guys, so to put this back together, and after taking it apart, I looked at everything. Everything's still in pretty good shape. It was a little bit nasty, but after cleaning it up, you're going to see these pins sticking through the back side. They are keepers that basically hold these brakes on. And what they do is go through the plates on the brake pads themselves. Alright, and what those plates do is basically hold everything against the back plate so it's lined up. And what you've got is these little keepers here that go on my glasses on my hip. All that little stuff. You got that, you got spring, and then you got another one on the back side of it, kind of keeps it flat. It's kind of hard to get it all at one time. You see me drop the spring a couple of times, but once you get one on, it gets a little easier. There's nothing sliding around and moving. And they make a tool to do this with, but I'm doing it old school. That's how I've always done them. Not meaning it's the right way, but it works. Alright. Make sure they're in the middle. There's a little divot in there. When you got them right, you'll know it. Lay that spring in there. I ain't gonna hook that one up yet. Okay. So now, do the other one. This will make it a little bit more of a challenge. Alright. Here's the adjuster. Make sure when you put it in where you can see it or adjust it through that slot. Now, before we put the springs in, I'm going to go ahead and get this situated. I'm not going to adjust it tight. I'm just going to adjust it up to where it goes. Alright, so everything looks good. What I'm going to do, go over and actuate the brake pedal. Make sure everything is supposed to. And they will still need to be adjusted a little bit, but for the most part, you can put the drum back on. Drum back on, turn it just a little bit. Well, I tell you, you can come in from the back and they make tools do it, but you can do it with a screwdriver. Put them back on. Test it again. And that looks like it will be like that will be pretty good. Once we get everything on, I can get the tires on it, can spin the tire itself. And get Jace to get up there and sit on the tractor and mash the pedal for me while I'm adjusting them a little bit more. But that's basically it. I mean, it's not rocket science. It's actually pretty easy. Just put it on, put everything back together the way it came off. Now, this other one, I'm gonna clean the back plate, get all that clean and shiny just like I did this one, paint it, and put it back together. So, for the most part, that's it. Everything on this tractor seems like it's heavy duty though. It's just, I don't know, maybe it's just me. It seems like it's thicker or something. So, what I'm gonna do now is put that hub back on. And what I like to use, because I know one day I'm gonna have to do this again, so what I'm gonna do is put just a dab of aniseed on these before I put them back on, just to ensure that I will be able to get them back off. And like I said, all this stuff still got to be painted. Sanding and painting in cold weather, not ideal. I mean, you could probably sand in cold weather, and if you had heat, you could probably do some painting, but I got enough going on around here to where I'll kind of stay pretty busy. But when it starts warming up and get the bug again, to get this tractor built. But like I said, it's not a beast of a tractor, but it is, you know, I guess it would be considered a compact mid-size tractor. But 46 horsepower is pretty stout for a small farm like ours. This tractor, like I said, is going back to work, and it will more than likely have a 6, 7 foot rototiller behind it. Or if I can get my hands on one, I'm going to put a front end loader on it and use it for that application, because it would probably be a pretty good tractor with a front end loader on it. Like I said, I bought it from the company I work for, and when they decommissioned it, and I give a little or nothing for it. These tractors were started, I think they started making these tractors in 1980, and they made them for 19 years. They made them up until 1999, and at that time, a 1999 model would have cost you right at 20 grand, which, you know, by today's standards is still pretty cheap. But you can look on the internet and see these tractors in real good shape for around, you know, $7,000, $8,000, even $9,000 sometimes. So me getting it for what I got it for, putting a little elbow grease in it, and a little bit of time, a little bit of money, I'm still thinking that I'm going to come in under $6,000 and still have a nice 46 horsepower tractor that I know everything that went into it. So other than the engine, everything else works. Like I said, I drove the tractor in here. I know it was running in. Number 1 cylinder didn't have a ring on the pistons, but it was still strong enough to bend the shank on a box blade on a stump out there. So I'm interested to see, once everything's said and done and we got the motor back together like it should be, how strong it really is. But I'm going to get busy putting the other side of the brakes on, and I've got the wheels and tires outside. They have been washed and they need to be sanded. The rims need to be sanded and painted. So once I get the rear end of the tractor painted, get all this painted, get the tires back on it, get the jacks out from under the rear end, I still got to put a PTO shaft output seal in. It was leaking pretty good, so I still got to do that. So I'll be doing that here shortly. I've got all the arms and chains and everything else that go on outside. I just washed that. The rope system, the rollover protection system, I pressure washed it this past weekend. Got it ready to sand and paint so I can put it back together. It did not have a canopy, but I'm thinking I may wind up putting an aftermarket canopy on it. I'm not sure. Like I said, there's a lot to do, but it's more, I mean, the engine, like I said, is a big thing, but more or less everything else is just cosmetic. We'll be changing a lot of nuts and bolts out and putting new keys in and new pins and A lot of other things. Basically doing a lot of painting, putting a new seat, comfortable seat. The seat it was on, it was not comfortable. So still got a lot to do. I'm looking forward to it. I enjoy working on these old tractors. I've got a Super A out there that me and my son we rebuilt. I don't know, 5-6 years ago. And matter of fact, this weekend I'm gonna take you guys with us. We're going to pick up another Super A that he has got his hands on. It had all the cultivator and everything else. Now we went and looked at it a couple days ago, and it seems like the engine's locked up in it, but the whole tractor's there. It's in real good shape. It's just it hasn't been run in a good while, and it probably wouldn't take much to get the thing running. But he wants to go through and rebuild that tractor like we did mine, and I'm gonna help him out with it and try to do some videos on that. Super A's are a lot of fun to work on. They're a real simple tractor, and I'm a red tractor fan. I'm an international fan to the bone. This is a red tractor. It's a red and gray tractor. It's not a farm-all, but it is a red tractor. So it's got that going for it. Yeah, I hope you guys learned something. There's a lot of tractors got the same brake setup. Fords are just about the same as this. Now, my farm-all, and I'm not sure about some internationals, but the brakes on it, I mean, you talking about aggravate. Those brakes are bands that are up in the final drives on those internationals, on the farm-alls. And it takes a little bit to change the brakes on those. You don't want to have to do that very often, but my brakes are so-so right now, so I may be able to get a video together of me putting brakes on that. That's a job. I mean, taking the finals off of that international is a job. But got plenty left to do on this, so there'll be plenty of videos coming out on this Massey Ferguson. Y'all just stay tuned, look for them. We'll have some videos on that international too, because I got to do a tune-up on it for too much longer. But I'm real excited about getting back on building this tractor here. We'll have our hands on several tractors here this upcoming year, and we'll do some videos on those, show you us putting them old tractors back together. Alright guys, I'm going to jump on this other side and get it cleaned out, get a coat of paint on it so tomorrow I can finish up on that side. Guys, if you hadn't already subscribed, reach over there in that right hand corner and click that subscribe button right there. And click the bell notification so you get notified every time I put out a video. As always guys, I appreciate you stopping by. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you on the next one.